Did you make a mistake somewhere? No, I can't get rid of your kids for you. Alright, so the sales pitch goes like this. So let's just say you have something, but for whatever reason, you need to replace the base plate. But doing that, you'd have to replace like all these constraints. Well, constraint migrator. That's just definitely the weakest sales pitch ever. But anyway, let's have this thing chilling here. Go ahead and get that in position. Alright, so the way this thing works, there are no constraints on this base plate, and it doesn't have any collisions. That's not important for how it works by any means, but spawn it in, it is on by default. There's a key to toggle it. I'm gonna turn it on. Like I said, no constraints on this other base plate, but I want to move the constraints from this plate to this plate. Nice. One thing to note is that it doesn't remove the constraints on the whole thing. That's up to you. Let me just turn it off again. There we go. Oh, I should have left the gate on. Yep, it works. Would have worked better if I managed to transfer the gate over, but whatever. Thank you, Mocha. So the constraints are actually moved over from any other attached thing. It could even have a constraint to the world, but it's always going to be relative to the other thing, so these wheels actually stay in place. This is an E2. You don't need to E2 Starfall chip. You don't need to wire. You don't need to wire it. You don't need to align it. You just need to position your new base plate wherever you want it. Re-enable the Starfall chip. Base plate first. New base plate. Here we go. Disable it. Get rid of that. All good. Nice. By default, when you spawn it, it is enabled. And actually, there's no way to really change that. I guess you can come over here and set this to false. So it's actually a cousin of Constraint Replicator. So some things might seem familiar. There's that old hide constraints variable. Yeah, just leave that to false. Toggle chip. So this is the button you press now to turn it on and off. Still key.g again. And change it to key dot whatever you want, really. Actually, see, selecting your base plates is hard coded to right mouse button, which I don't know the Starfall key code for. Yep, that is the Starfall chip. So this chip might just be incredibly niche, but this vehicle is the sole reason it exists. I have a room temperature IQ, and for whatever reason I put the base plate really high up, which, as you know, is really good for your center of gravity. So let's fix it. Let's go ahead and get our Starfall chip. I don't know why I have 3 base plates, but I wanted to try something new, so don't. Leave me alone. Move your constraints here, please. Excellent. Now let me get rid of you. And you. Actually, I should probably show you these. This is a constraint pattern. Turn on the chip, and there we go. Turn it off so I can remove it with right click. Turn it back on. You go here. Turn it off. Excellent. All of the constraints have been moved around, basically in place relative to the stuff they were connected to. Good. And yes, I remembered this time to keep everything but the chairs. The chairs aren't really important because I'm like gonna biz gun this at Mach 2. Just cleaning up my constraints. Okay. Now we've... Oh, that has 2 axes. Going. Okay. Are you good? No. Something. Can I remove collisions on you? Whatever. There we go. It still rolls over. Well, one must imagine Sisyphus happy. But other than fixing mistakes, it should be pretty helpful if you just want to like try a different baseplate or something. I should say, just like Constraint Replicator, it only supports 6 constraints. So these are going to be advanced ball socket, elastic, rope, weld, and axis. Wire hydraulics don't work, which is why my steering plates don't work anymore and I have to weld them down. Ooh. So I will say, this is not going to be put on the paste bin. I will instead be giving you the link to the chip right here. Here we are on the GitHub page. To actually get the code for all this, I don't think, I guess you can download a raw file, but probably the best way to get the file is to click this copy button. Go back in GMOD, open up a blank starfall chip, select everything with Control A, delete it with backspace, Control V, and you have the chip. Very nice. So I should say something else about having the GitHub page. Not a whole lot of ads everywhere. That wasn't really the reason. All the cool kids use GitHub, which is why I'm on GitHub now, I guess. It makes sense to put everything here. So yeah, we have Starfall chips, Constraint Migrator, and Constraint Replicator. Go back and look at expression 2. I have all of the expression 2s that have like some sort of video associated with it. So all the versions of CTMC, Gen chip, Ed chips, and all the other miscellaneous things. Anyway, usual caveats. If the chip isn't working, hit me up, let me know, and I'll try to fix it. Otherwise, yeah, that's the video.